Dawn, 1916. A whistle pierces the Somme mud. Thousands of boys' sons, brothers charge into a storm of machine gun fire, barbed wire, and death. Most won't see sunset. This is World War I's trench hell, where courage met carnage, and a generation was lost in no man's land. Why did they run into the slaughter? World War I wasn't just a war, it was a machine that devoured empires, ideals, and 16 million lives. It began with a single shot. June 28, 1914. Archduke Franz Ferdinand assassinated in Sarajevo by Gavrilo Princip, a Bosnian Serb. Alliances ignited like fuses. Central powers: Germany, Austria-Hungary, Ottomans versus allies Britain, France, Russia, later, the US. By August, Europe was aflame. From the Alps to the North Sea, trenches defined the Western Front. A 440-mile scar from Belgium to Switzerland. Soldiers dug in muddy ditches, 6 feet deep, lined with sandbags, rats, and despair. Barbed wire coiled like snakes. No man's land, a blasted wasteland, separated enemies by mere yards. Machine guns, artillery, gas, new tech, turned battlefields into abattoirs. A single day's barrage could fire 1.5 million shells. Why storm trenches? Generals, stuck in Napoleonic dreams, believed mass assaults could break stalemates. Soldiers, British Tommies, French poilus, German Lancers faced orders to charge, knowing survival odds were slim. Letters home, like Private Wilfred Owens, whisper their dread. I am more afraid than I can say. Yet duty, mateship, and propaganda's glory drove them over the top. This isn't a general's map-room tale. It's the mud-level story of men 18 to 30, farmers to clerks facing the whistle's call. From Ypres gas clouds to the Somme slaughter, we'll walk their charge, feel their fear, and unravel why the war to end all wars became humanity's nightmare. Picture a trench, 1915. Flanders mud sucks boots to the ankle. Rain pools with blood. Rats feast on rations. Lice burrow into skin. Private Harry Patch, later Britain's last WWI veteran, wrote, "You didn't sleep, you shivered through nightmares." Trenches zigzagged to limit blast spread, fire bays, dugouts, latrines, barbed wire, 20 yards thick, guarded fronts, periscopes peeked at enemy lines. Daily life, routine, and terror. Dawn, stand to, soldier's man, parapets, expecting raids, breakfast, bully beef, biscuits hard as stone. Patrols in no man's land, cut wire, scout snipers, drag back wounded. Shell shock wasn't just a term, it was trembling hands, eyes vacant from endless barrages. German soldier Ernst Junger's storm of steel recalls. The front is a cage, you either endure or go mad. Weapons ruled. Vickers machine guns spat 600 rounds a minute. A single gun could kill a battalion in an hour. Artillery, French 75s, German howitzers pounded days-long barrages, softening or missing defenses. Gas debuted at Ypres, April 1915. Chlorine clouds choked 6,000 French in minutes. Later, mustard gas blistered lungs, blinded eyes. Gas masks saved some. Others suffocated, clawing canvas. Tactics, brutal. Generals like Britain's Douglas Haig or Germany's Erich Falkenhayn ordered frontal assaults, waves of men against fortified lines. Attrition was the game. Bleed the enemy dry. Verdun, 1916. Germans aimed to bleed France white. 700,000 total casualties, no gain. Soldiers knew, over the top meant death or miracles. Yet orders were orders. Ypres, Second Battle, April 22, 1915. Canadians face gas first, a green-yellow fog, men vomiting blood, a survivor writes they hold, losing 2,000. British counterattack fail, 6,000 dead in days. Trenches deepen, stalemate hardens. July 1, 1916. The Somme River, northern France. Britain's big push to break German lines. Haig commands 13 divisions, 100,000 men after a week-long barrage of 1.7 million shells. Goal: punch through, unleash cavalry, end the war. Opposite, German trenches, dugouts, 30 feet deep, barbed wire intact. 5:30 a.m. Whistles blow. British troops, laden with 60-pound packs, climb ladders into no man's land. We're walking to Berlin, a Tommy shouts. Machine guns answer. German Maxim guns, 10 per battalion, rake lines. By noon, 57,470 British casualties, 19,240 dead. Single worst day in British military history. Private Siegfried Sassoon's poem seethes, squatting in holes, we rot, and generals lie. Why so deadly? Barrage, failed 30% shells, duds, wire uncut. Germans sheltered deep. Surface to mow waves. Newfoundland Regiment, 710 men charge Beaumont Hamel, 68 return. PALS battalions volunteers from same towns decimated. Accrington PALS, 585 of 700 lost in hours. Tanks debuted September 15. Mark I landships, slow break prone. Flers Corselet 36 tanks roll. Half stall, but infantry gains 2 miles. First mechanized war glimpse, too late for breakthroughs. Some grinds to November. 420,000 British, 200,000 French, 500,000 German casualties. Gain, 6 miles. Homefront reels, newsreels, sanitize, letters don't. A Yorkshire mother reads, "Your son fell bravely. Communities gutted, yet propaganda churns. Enlist, avenge the sum." Women step up munitions factories. VAD nurses like Vera Britton, who lost her brother at Mametz Wood. German side, Falkenhayn sacked. Hindenburg takes over. Morale cracks, deserters shot. Soldier Adolf Hitler, wounded at Somme, writes, "Hell with no end." Both sides dig deeper, literally and figuratively. 1917. Stalemate festers. Russia collapses. Bolsheviks sign Brest-Litovsk, freeing German divisions west. Britain and France bleed. Passchendaele's mud claims 245,000 allies for 5 miles. Mutinies ripple in French ranks. British morale wanes. Enter the Yanks. April 6, 1917. U.S. declares war after U-boat sinkings. Lusitania. 1,915. 1,198 dead, and Zimmermann telegram Germany's Mexico plot. General John Pershing lands 2 million doughboys by 1918. Fresh, eager, under-trained Cantony, May 1918. First U.S. offensive, 2,800 take a village, 1,000 lost. Below Wood, June 1918, U.S. Marines charge German machine nests. Retreat, hell, we just got here. Captain Lloyd Williams roars. Wood cleared. 9,777 U.S. casualties. Marines earn devil dogs. From Germans, Musargon, September 26, November 11, 1918. Biggest U.S. push. 1.2 million Americans, 26,000 dead in 6 weeks. Sergeant Alvin York, Tennessee sharpshooter, kills 28, captures 132 single-handedly. Medal of Honor. Allied coordination improves. Tanks, creeping barrages, air cover. Germans retreat. Kaiser abdicates. November 11, 1918. Armistice. 11th hour, 11th day, 11th month. Guns fall silent. Trenches empty. 8.5 million soldiers dead, 21 million wounded. Home friends, women welders, black troops, like 369th Harlem Hellfighters, face segregation yet earn Croix de Guerre. Spanish flu kills 50 million, more than combat. Versailles Treaty, 1919. Germany crushed 33 billion reparations, guilt clause. Empires fall. Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman dissolved. New nations Poland, Czechoslovakia rise from ashes. League of Nations born, but U.S. rejects it, sowing isolationism. Trenches birth modern war. Tanks, planes, submarines. Psychological toll. Shell shock PTSD recognized, 80,000 cases. Culture shift, Sowens, dulce, et, decorum, est, spits on sweet death for country. Dada, surrealism, rise from absurdity. Soldiers, survivors, limp home. British Tommy John Smith, we won, but I lost my youth. Cemeteries, Flanders white crosses, endless rows. Poppies bloom in churned earth, symbol of remembrance. Echoes, World War II seeds Hitler's resentment, Japan's ambitions. Cold War inherits global power shift. Today, Anzac Day, Veterans Day honored the fallen. Trenches linger in Ukraine's mud, Gaza's scars wars, futility persists. What if, no sum, no U.S. entry. Europe redrawn differently. The whistle's call still haunts. Courage or carnage. World War I's trenches weren't just earth, they were graves for innocents. Boys became men, then ghosts, charging into machine gun storms for inches of mud. Their sacrifice broke empires, birthed nations, and taught war's cost. Heroes, every soldier who climbed the ladder, knowing villains, generals who repeated doomed charges, systems that armed slaughter. This war's shadow stretches global power, mechanized death, fractured dreams. It asks, when does duty become destruction? Moved by their charge. Like if trenches stir, history's blood speaks. Subscribe for war's raw truths. World War II next. Comment, was it worth it? Sources, pinned Imperial War Museum, Owen's Poetry, All Quiet. Share your family's WWI stories. Until next, honor the fallen, question the fight. Fade to silence over a lone poppy.